All right, so it's an early banner because it's a Tuesday morning, and GUTA is a very important group in Ghana. As a Ghana Union of Traders Association, they've asked their members to close their shops for the next 4 days. This is serious. So I'm speaking to Clement Boateng. He's the Deputy National Organizer of GUTA. He's joining me now. Good morning to you, Clement. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Okay, so why have you waited for all this while? And I'm asking this because my colleague Roland raised it. Why have you waited for all these years to come up with this issue now?
We haven't waited for all these years. We started this battle, if I can remember, over 10 years ago. We've been back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I think about 4 years ago, a task force was, set up, to deal with this situation, but it couldn't work. So just about last 2 years, another task force was set up by the able leadership of then Trade Minister, Mrs. Hannah Tete, and I must off my heart for the job that the woman did. But those whom the job was entrusted into their hands failed to do the work again. If I say those whom the job were entrusted into their hands, that is the agencies, because the task force was set up with a lot of agencies and the MDAs, and GUTA was also part of the task force. But what we saw was that when the shop is closed today, those whom the shop have been closed will rush to the Ministry of Trade, to have whatever dealings that they will have with those authorities, and the following day you see that the shops are opened. So we saw that what we were doing wouldn't end up in anything, so GUTA decided to pull out from the task force. But
so you were part of the task force?
GUTA was part of the task force. We had a 2-member people in the task force, and they were going around with the other agencies, to close the shops.
Okay, so this was, they were going around to close shops of who specifically?
Shops, the law does not allow foreigners to do retail trading. This law was enacted as far back as 1994, and the supervising agency who are supposed to enforce this law is the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, now authority, but they have not been able to implement the law, because if somebody comes as an investor, and the first point of contact is the Ghana Investment Promotion Center. The person goes there, register, and then from there, he or she goes to Immigration Service for resident permit. Now, what Ghana Investment Promotion Center is supposed to do is to monitor the activity of the so-called investor, but they have failed to do that job. So the person comes to register as an investor, and when we say somebody is an investor, we know that the person is coming to put up maybe an industry or set up a huge, something, so that he can be able to employ a large number of Ghanaians, to do the job. But the person comes to register, and the following day or the following week, you find the person at Makola engaged in a 2x4 shop, at Abosokai and engaged in a 2x4 shop, doing the same activity which does not permit the foreigner to do.
So this means that these foreigners, you can actually identify them as in the traders?
Yes, because when the task force was set up, if they come to Abosokai, those leaders in Abosokai will lead the task force to wherever those foreigners are, and the shops will be closed. So we know where they are. Not that we don't know.
Okay,
we know
so
where they
when you call the attention of the authorities, what do they do? Because if you're able to identify them, that's a first move.
That is what I'm saying, that when we identify the place and the shop is closed, the person will go to the Ministry of Trade the following day to have conversation with those in charge of the task force, and the following day they comes to open the shop for them.
Okay, so let's look at what you've been able to do that did not work. That's why you're calling for this action. This is big, really.
Yeah.
Closure of shops for the next 4 days. What have you done?
In fact, we have exhausted all avenues. You see, this is not the only problem. The problems are many. The foreigners issue is also one, but that is the main issue. But we have a lot of problems that we have even gone as far as to the presidency. We have met the president one-on-one. The president says, go and put your problems in the form of petition, bring it, I will see what I can do for you. That was about 2.5 months ago. We went back, we put everything on paper, we presented it to the president. The Minister of Finance was there. The president told us that he will see to solve the problem for us, and that the first thing that he was going to do is to see that we engage with the ministers who are responsible. Let's see if our problem is the problem of trade. He will make sure that the Minister of Trade, we engage with the Minister of Trade, and then we see the way forward. If the problem is Minister of Finance, he will make sure we engage with the Minister of Finance, and then we move forward. But up to now, nothing has been done. Nothing has been done. You make calls to the place, they won't pick your calls. You make text messages, they won't reply you. I mean...
So which personalities have you been dealing with?
That is what I'm saying. That we
because you mentioned Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Trade, but is it the ministers you're talking about here?
That's what I'm saying. That the president promises that he will make sure that we engage with the sector ministers. So if Minister of Trade, definitely we have to engage with Haruna, who is the Minister of Trade. But
did you ever meet him?
That is what I'm saying. That thing that the president told us, it never came on. It never came on. We have made a lot of contacts. It never came on. And that has pushed us, to this limit that we don't know what to do, because if we've gone as far as to the number one person in the country, and he has promises that he will do this, he will do that for us, and nothing comes out, then my sister, I don't know where we have to go.
So this action that you're taking now, closure of shops,
Yeah.
and if you say where, is it in Accra alone?
For now, we are doing it with our partners in Kumasi.
Okay, so what kind of shops will be closed?
Those that are engaged in retail. If you are engaged, if you know you are a trader and you are engaged in retail trading, we are calling upon you to just close your shops, sit at home.
As in where? In Makola, Malata,
yes,
or across the country?
Well, it's supposed to be across the country, but you see, if you are doing something, there's no way you can get 100% efficiency. If you are able to achieve 60, 70, it's okay. Once you are even selling tomato, you are a trader. But you see, we cannot come and force you to close your shop. But what we are doing is for the benefit of all of us. So if you think you will not be part of it, posterity will judge you.
But you see, the point is, this will certainly have implications. I mean, you are asking people to close their shops. This is where they get their daily bread. And we would also go to shop there. What is there anything that you're doing to cushion these people? Because you're taking what they earn every day for the next 4 days away from them.
Yes, we know we are taking what they're supposed to earn for the next 4 days away from them. But the fight that we are fighting is for a common cause. I've also closed my shop.
Do you think that the closure of shops for the next 4 days will resolve this issue?
I'm sure. I'm sure.
How?
Because yes, because we are a pressure group. We are a pressure group, and when something of this nature happens, it makes the government unpopular. So if you're a government and you say you sit down, you don't mind, you wouldn't do anything about it, we don't have anything to say. After all, nobody gives us the capital. If even we've gone to the bank, to secure loans, we are going to pay. Nobody's going to pay for us. So I don't think it's a problem for us.
What do you trade in?
I trade in spare parts.
Okay, so you're Abosokai.
Yeah.
Do we have a lot of foreigners opening spare part shops in Abosokai?
Yes, we have a lot of foreigners.
Okay. So, I mean, is it the competition that you're afraid of?
It is not the competition. In the first place, my sister, you should ask, why is that law, or why was that law enacted? It was enacted to protect the indigenes. If you go to Nigeria, they have their investment law which protects the locals. If you go to Ivory Coast, they have their investment law.
But there are Ghanaians in these places that you're mentioning.
My brother, my sister, I can tell you, go to Nigeria, go to their spare parts market, or go to their jewelry market, or go to their this thing.
But what's your point? That there are no Ghanaians?
There are no Ghanaians there. There are no Ghanaians there. There are no Ghanaians there. You can't go there. You can't go there and do business there. You just have to go there and buy. People talk about the ECOWAS protocol. The ECOWAS protocol only gives you 90 days, to come and do business. After the 90 days, you're supposed to wind up and go back. It doesn't give you the permission to come and sit here permanently and do business here. It is just 90 days. Within that 90 days, you're supposed to do whatever business that you are doing, and you go back.
So what is their business doing to yours?
Their business is causing a lot of havoc to our business. You see, Now, everybody is complaining about the depreciation of the cedi. You know, you cannot compare Ghana's economy to Nigerian economy. You cannot compare Ghana's economy to the Chinese economy. They have money more than we the Ghanaians. So if we just open our doors to them, if we just open our retail trade to them, it will come to a time that we the Ghanaians or we the locals will be thrown out of business. As I'm telling you, if you go to Okaishi, if you go to Makola, stores are going as high as 200,000 Ghana cedis. My sister, do you think we can afford it? But these foreigners, this is peanut to them, because the foreigner coming from China, even if he has secured a loan, is going to pay an interest rate of maybe 4%. How much are we paying here? How much are we paying here? So we cannot compete with them. So what we are saying is the law must work. The law which the parliamentarians themselves thought it wise that they must promulgate that law so that it will protect we the locals. It must work.
So could it also be that you don't like the foreigners in our country?
No. We are not saying foreigners should move out of the country. There is nowhere that you go that you will not find a foreigner there. That is not what we are saying. People are being, I don't know. We are not saying foreigners should move out of the country. What we are saying is foreigners in the retail trade must move out. That is our message.
So paint the picture, for us. If I go to Abusokain this morning, it means that I won't find a single shop open.
I'm telling you, you won't find a single shop open. If you go to Makola, if you go to Kantamanto, the same thing.
What would you do to the members who decide that they cannot afford to close their shops?
That is what I'm saying, that the cause that we are fighting for is a common cause. If we succeed, it will be to the benefit of all of us. So if you decide not to close the shop, we don't have anything to say, but posterity will judge you.
So are you all on the same page? I mean, do all the other traders agree that this is the way to go?
Yes. Yes. As far as I'm concerned, about 80 to 90%, they are in the same line with us.
So if you say for the next 4 days, that's the end of the working week?
Yes.
Okay, so you are back on Saturday.
We are back on Saturday.
And then what? If nothing happens, what?
If nothing happens, we have a lot of strategies up our sleeves. If nothing happens, we'll come out with the next strategy.
So what's your plan B?
I won't tell you. It's our secret. When it's
so what are you expecting,
there, you know.
as you've decided to embark on this action now, what are you expecting from governments?
We are expecting the government for now to call us, look through our petition and address our problems. As I'm talking to you, that is what I said. It is not a foreigners issue only. But as I'm talking to you now, we have a lot of taxes that we are paying at the ports. Now, there is a special levy of 2% on import duty. As I'm talking to you now, there's an additional 1% or 1.5% to the import duty. Our brothers in the mobile phone sector are paying an additional special levy of 20%. Why? Why these taxes? Now, at the same time, when the Bank of Ghana came out with the policy of not doing any business in dollarization, we were thinking the dollar index that they are using to work out the duty at the port will be scrapped. But they are still using the dollar index. And there is no way they review it every Tuesday. And there has never been an occasion that they have reviewed it and the rate has come down. Every week, the rate goes up. We have suggested to the government that you peg this review quarterly so that it will be a relief to the traders. Government is not listening. Government is not listening. Why? Why? Traders are suffering. Traders are really suffering. Our capital have collapsed. Some of us have died. Some of us are on the sick bed. Why? What has traders done? What has traders done? The government must listen to us.
What is the solution for persons, who are sitting home, who wake up and want to go and shop?
Well, I would take this opportunity, to register our apology, to the public, those who go there and will not find us there. or those who are traveling all the way, you know, from the hinterland to come to Accra or Kumasi and shop over there, that we are very sorry for the inconveniences that has been meted out to them. But they should bear with us because we are fighting a common cause. When we are able to succeed, we hope prices will come down, and at the end of the war, the consumer will be the winner.
So did you receive any phone calls from governments after your press conference yesterday?
Not yet.
Okay, we'll speak, I guess, on Monday. We'll see how the action goes. But Clement Boateng is Deputy National Organizer of the Ghana Union of Traders Association. They are effective today for the next 4 days, striking. They're closing all shops, at least for now, in Accra and Kumasi. Stay with us here on the AM show. AM Talk is up next with Roland Walker, who is almost working on set.